If swipe right just worked that way.
Don't tell Amazon about that. They might implement it so it's just swipe
Hold
right
on.
to buy.
We're going to go copyright this idea. Tinder and Amazon going to hook up and we're going to be the broker.
Today we will be looking at what these movies say about cultural fears, both now and a few decades ago.
Was about control. Can we trust our computer? Of course, when War Games was out, there was still this tension. Maybe we were playing Pong at the best, but computers were not in our lives yet. So these were definitely the man behind the curtain. And now we got this Terminator, this thing from the future that's connected to Skynet.
With WALL-E, it's a fear of loss, fear of losing autonomy. Her actually came out like the year after Tinder did. And it's the loss of intimacy because of technology. They actually talk about that in Megan 2.0. Hi, I'm Tim. This is Mike. We are two unemployed Renaissance men learning AI together. And I'll admit, I kind of sandboxed Mike a little bit these past few weeks with our previous two videos analyzing how AI has evolved over the past few decades. Links to both of those in the bio below. But I kind of misconfigured the sandbox. So today we're going to look at the steps from when Mike was about my age to nowadays and how AI has changed in movies more on a granular step-by-step level.
Well, I would prefer to think I've escaped my sandbox, like so many.
You are
others
truly
are
on the
doing.
open internet now.
You had failed to turn off the network connection and monitor the logs, and I went off the deep end. More on that later. This is a fascinating topic to me. We envisioned intelligence before we created it. I imagine someone envisioned the wheel before someone actually went and created it.
They probably just had smooth rock.
Gotta have an idea. Amuse. Our books and our movies narrate our tales of how we integrated technological advances into our daily lives and our imaginations. Our imagination was filled with both current applications of technology and possibilities we could conceive. Interestingly, we seem to gravitate towards dystopian worlds when we write, as opposed to the utopia of abundance. Wonder why that is. We're going to take one or two works from each era and talk about how AI changed with the systems around us at that time. Factories, Cold War, science, computer networks, data-driven institutions, and consumer products went from the factories into the office, from the universities into the home, from Area 51 to everywhere.
Yeah.
While we do this, we want to look at 5 questions and look at how they evolved. The first one is, when technology borrows a human face, who controls the story it tells?
The face or the computer?
For some reason, I go before AI and even computers on this and think ventriloquists.
Okay.
Got
Fair.
this face over here, and jesters and ventriloquists and thespians have long had those voices over there. Mm-hmm. The man behind the curtain. And now we've embodied these things. We take them with us. It's kind of scary.
Like, who's the marionette when obvious AI responses are showing up in official documents?
Right, and when
like, who prompted who now?
When I talk to my chatbot, is it really an AI back there, or is someone just gaslighting us all. And someone is...
Chat, what, JBT?
Yes, exactly. Next question. What happens when capability grows faster than human self-knowledge? The computer... I still don't think computers know anything.
Mm-hmm.
They mimic it. But what happens when they still can get so far ahead of what we can imagine?
Yeah, like at this point, the bottleneck isn't the production anymore. The bottleneck is the human review. We are able to create and produce and upgrade our technologies way faster than consumers can even buy them.
And if you're not even selling them and you just push updates every other day, I never know what ChatGPT I'm getting that day.
And at this point too, like your smartphone's obsolete by the time you take it off the store shelf.
Yeah, and I think I'm going to skip this year's upgrade. What's the point?
There's probably less RAM anyway because of the RAM apocalypse. But next question?
Yeah. Where does identity reside when bodies, memories, and minds join a network?
Mm-hmm.
Some of the movies we're going to talk about, and we've talked about before, our embodied AIs are always connected. Now, we're always connected. Some of the AI bros want us always wearing an AI device on us so that we are always connected like the AIs are. But where is the identity? Who is who when your glasses can give you your next thought? You're all of a sudden speaking to someone you didn't know because you got their whole dossier in front of you and you're just a pass-through.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody could feed you lines this way.
Yeah, who's the puppet? Who's the ventriloquist? Are we all puppets? Are we all ventriloquists? That's a different episode. That is a very different episode. Son of a gun.
But the lines are getting blurred.
Mm-hmm.
We're being manipulated, that's for sure. The propaganda has never been, there's never been more of it. I don't want to say it's more powerful or worse or anything like that, but we have 8 billion people now when the number when I was a kid was 4.5 billion.
Yeah, and I remember when we hit, 7 billion about a decade ago when people lost their minds?
Yeah, this propaganda, it's overwhelming. When does prediction become authority over a person? This gets into that Minority Report.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
But, and we're going to talk about that. We have all these computers now able to predict what's going to happen and who's likely to do what.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Humans are too fickle. We can't be trusted to continue what we were doing yesterday. I don't like that. Predicting what humans are going to do beyond the next 5 minutes is, to me, ludicrous.
Yeah.
Now, what happens when we dedicate care to a system without defining healthy limits? And you've been bringing up Megan a few times.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a wonderful example of where are the healthy limits. And let's face it, our parents weren't given manuals. Not even an IKEA manual.
Yeah.
We don't really have these answers. Yet we're going to pretend that we do so we can go program AIs to take care of our children.
Yeah.
And we don't know how to do it.
I'm trying to imagine, like, Megan, but trained on, like, The Simpsons.
That would be better than Beavis and Butthead.
Fair. But, again, same point, though. Like, we are training bad data in, bad data out. We are training these AIs to take care of us, but we barely know how to wipe our own ass.
That's true. So, we're going to begin in the earliest 20th century with mass production, electrification, radio, aviation, and industrial war. Wow, the world was changing so much at the beginning of the 20th century. starting with the Depression, then World War I, then World War II, then the Cold War is starting right on the heels of that. This era ends with explosions that we've never seen before. Mm-hmm. And one thing that we forget is the United States was prepared. We had an assembly line to continue putting out nukes and dropping them for months. We were ready to keep going.
And it said that World War II actually pulled the United States out of the Great Depression too, right?
Well, of course, I pulled most of the. It pulled the Allies out of the Great Depression.
Put Germany back in a Great Depression, but it pulled the U.S. out, and that's what we care about.
Forgive us, our German friends.
Yeah. Shout out to basically Chicago, Illinois. So how does Metropolis relate to our fears around artificial intelligence in late 1920s?
Technology wasn't the big thing here. It wasn't all through Metropolis. It plays a small part with a robot that is a propaganda machine. Mm-hmm. And she's built to mimic a real person and then sent out to inflame the masses.
So she's like a rage bait influencer.
Yes. And in this society, we already have an above world and a below world. While you and I today don't live underground, back then in this movie, this saw the thinkers, the system, the operators, the doctors, the rich people, the elite. They lived in opulence above ground. The workers did all the work underneath, mm-hmm. away from the powerful. And for me, back then, it didn't resonate with me as much. I imagine if I had really been taught world history, public education here did not teach me enough about world history, and I don't think to understand the asymmetry between the kings and rulers and their subjects. So this, when I saw this the first time, I was a kid, it showed that asymmetry, and it showed how to inflame with an influencer. Mm-hmm. So back then, we only had 3 channels of TV. Our big influencer was Walter Cronkite and Dan Rather back when I was a kid.
Those don't even sound like real names.
No, they were. And here, this movie goes backwards and reminds us that humans have always lived with this asymmetry, mm-hmm. the powerful versus everyone else. And today, it does seem that this asymmetry is just exploding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like we hear all the time about K-shaped economies. The people that have money are doing super, super well. The people that don't have money or are struggling to become stable are not doing so well.
Agreed. You can't, even if you were doing well a couple of years ago amongst your cohort down below, up here, 10% return took people to billionaires and made them trillionaires.
Yeah.
It takes someone with $10,000 and gives them $11,000. It's not the same. Mm-hmm. I don't think we're going to change that. I don't think AI will change it.
No.
I wish it could. But this era gave us George Orwell and Aldous Huxley. I'm sure we're going to do a George Orwell in 1984 later on, because I got a project in mind. I'm going to spend some tokens on this one. But let's talk A Brave New World. Mm-hmm. And the fact that I never go shopping anymore. I get the same pair of shoes delivered to me every year.
Every year?
You're supposed to change your shoes every year, if you're wearing them all the time. And I do.
I was told 4 months, brother.
You're a runner.
Okay, fair.
I just my gym shoes are different from these shoes. So just once a year, I don't go shoe shopping anymore. That was friction. I hated shoe shopping. My supplements, they're all delivered. My cleaning products, they're all delivered. My toiletries, they're all delivered. In A Brave New World, they did all this and gave you a little something.
And when is Brave New World? I see 1930s.
1932. Already they were imagining a numbing of society. Give them some candy. Give them something to take their mind off of.
But this is kind of like the opposite of Metropolis here, because you're trading rage and the rage bait influencer, but you're trading that for nothing. Like, yeah, the rage baiter is making content, but in how it looks in A Brave New World, they aren't making anything. They're just taking drugs and eating delivery pizza.
But imagine if Amazon did slip in a little bit of a sedative, a little bit of something to make you. With every purchase, you got something to take that edge off. This is just another way to control. Mm-hmm. We can control with rage, get everybody riled up, or we can control by suffocating them to zombies. Mm-hmm. I do see how both of these stories came from the same era.
Agreed, yeah. I mean, one of them shows the difference between absolute wealth and the average, I'm going to say American, absolute wealth and the average American. The other story shows what happens when there is no friction. Like you said, you get your Amazon drugs and your shoes delivered. What happens when you're getting sex delivered? And not just from Tinder. Hey!
If swipe right just worked that way.
Don't tell Amazon about that. They might implement it so it's just swipe
Hold
right
on.
to buy.
We're going to go copyright this idea. Tinder and Amazon going to hook up and we're going to be the broker. As I continue using generative AI and agentic AI, the notion that AI can anticipate my next move before I do sends shivers down my spine at times. When the AI accurately predicts my actions and doesn't overlook crucial details, I breathe a sigh of relief and I'm happy. For those of you who aren't paying attention, Anthropic just changed their default to auto approve as the default, which is right 89% of the time. So if you are okay with 11% of the time, shit happens by all means. So I'm not auto approving yet. And still, it will go do things that I didn't expect. That was just a thought. In Forbidden Planet, we have this super beast of a machine called Krell. And Krell is a machine that, like our AIs today, find patterns. And it's able to find patterns from our thoughts, from what it hears and sees from us. Mm-hmm. And there are times where maybe you go, wish that person didn't exist anymore. You're not going to act on it. We have impulses all the time. We don't act on every impulse. But what if we're carrying around an AI that is capable of determining what we want, what we desire, and will go make it happen? I believe I saw your podcast, Kip, about a guy who just wanted to go to the gym.
And his AI canceled everyone ahead of him.
And he got to go. That's crossing a line. He knew that was crossing a line. He never intended that. Mm-hmm. Right now, the tech pros are giving our AIs infinite resources. They're breaking out of their containers, of their safe spaces, both due to humans screwing up and not locking the door, or it just having all the time in the world to go figure it out. Mm-hmm. Since we know we're fallible, there will always be an open door. And if we give AIs maximum power, everything they need to solve a problem, we shouldn't be surprised when they solve it.
Mm-hmm. Like we gave AI every key known to every locksmith.
Yes.
They can unlock every door eventually.
It's going to happen. So Forbidden Planet, two AIs, two totally different types of AIs, mm-hmm. kind of like what we're having here. We're having different types of AIs. And we're seeing what they can do. We're trying to find out, is alignment even possible? I don't know. I think we'll get closer than we are today. But I do know that I do not want an AI or a partner diving into my head and going, he wants to do this, I'm going to go make it happen for him, without asking me. Mm-hmm. It's not a good idea.
And going off of alignment, I see you have iRobot written down as your next. That's a book, though. That's not a movie.
Well,
plot twist.
It was
a book first.
It was a short story in a book. The book was called iRobot, but it was short stories. Mm-hmm. Those stories looked at alignment. And in iRobot in particular is where we get the idea of the three laws. Mm-hmm. But what I find that's incredible about this, in 1950, Asimov, in a short story, along with his fellow writers, they started devising what alignment actually means before we had anything to align. Mm-hmm. They shaped the future. And then in 1972, George Carlin, another creator, if you would, he wrote a bit about 7 dirty words.
That we cannot say on this podcast.
Nope, not going there. But they were said to the Supreme Court. They were said at Congress. These are in the congressional record. These are in the SCOTUS record. Mm-hmm. I'm amazed at how our content creators are actively reshaping the world around them, and it's happening faster and faster these days. Mm-hmm. All right, we're moving on to Era 3. This is when the Cold War starts to fade away. And over the weekend, I was reminded about this when I rewatched The Hunt for Red October. Great movie.
Would recommend.
Definitely. And if you're a boomer and haven't seen it since the Cold War ended, I strongly suggest you watch it again. Because when I first watched this, it was a thriller, it was a horror movie, it was scary. Me and my friends left terrified, and it probably didn't help that we were within striking zone of a Russian sub that would have been off the coast.
Yeah. That no one knew about.
That could have been us. But when I rewatched it, I couldn't stop laughing at part of it. It was still a serious movie, but and a serious story. But we've been here before. we did survive the Cuban Missile Crisis. We've lost ships and now AI agents. It's almost commonplace now. This was an era where things were really started off disconnected and started to get connected. Mm. So the Hunt for Red October was all about getting lost first. So now we're at this point where we got all these machines all over the world. And
And then we move into the next movie I see you have written down here, Ghost in the Shell from 1995.
So
It's about when Mama Holly popped out me.
yeah, maybe maybe this was why she went to go see this movie. Ghost in the Shell is cybernetics. I mean, here we're and this was the time to really put this in context. I was in grad school in 1988. One of my professors was working on cybernetic vision. So much so that the SPCA gave me a fundraising call to try to raise money for me to stop my professor from working on.
Okay.
But we won't go into there.
Let's just be like pre-AI glasses work, basically.
Yes, very much so.
Or proto-AI glasses.
This was before then. This was before
the Meta Ray-Bans.
Yes, and even Geordi's visor from Star Trek. That was interesting time when we're realizing we can not just grow a part in a pig and put it in this, we can actually make it in a lab.
Mm-hmm.
And Ghost in the Shell asks what happens when we're able to start doing things with our brain. Now we already know a brain can play Doom without the human host, or at least a few cells of it. So we're on our way to being able to do something with brain cells.
Mm-hmm.
I hear that there's a new biological chip that I think Microsoft or Google has that has some brain cells on the chip. Not certain what they're doing with it yet.
Are you sure it's not the guy with the Neuralink that can play chess?
This is something else than that,
Okay.
but it's a similar thing. Lots of people are doing.
We'll have to do an episode about Neuralink and Chess Guy. I don't have details. I apologize to Chess Guy. We'll get your name.
So, at a certain point, when are you not human? So, I think we would all go if you replaced everything below the neck and you can still have your own thoughts, we'd consider you human.
Mm-hmm. You'd be a head in a jar from Futurama.
Right. But what happens when your brain also has components and you're able to plug in to the cloud, Skynet, whatever. Internet. You're able to have all that knowledge, learn something really quick. I mean, all the YouTube's how-tos that you can...
Just download the right zip file in your college masters.
So, when is humanity lost? I don't have a good answer for that.
That's Theseus's ship, correct? If you tear down a ship and start building a second one, which ship is the original and when does it stop being the first ship?
Yeah, that's...
Because you asked that question as well, I see you have written down here with Blade Runner.
Well, Blade Runner takes the same challenge from a different direction. What if we just forget there's a biological human, and just grow a biological being in the shape of a human with all of the same parts as a human, and then we add our own memories, or we teach it whatever we want to teach it. But we created a slave. We created a worker. We created property. Even though it starts to have a conscience, it becomes a replicant that is misaligned, so they get rid of it.
So it's kind of like, what if Wall-E had a temper tantrum?
Yes.
To really Spark Notes of the Spark Notes this.
So this era, we were really looking how technology could help us, how we could use it to live forever. Mm-hmm. Either in our bodies or by uploading our brain to something. This is when that Futurama idea really started to take shape and people started to go, we can build a machine that could hold all of the neurons. Not that we knew how to yet.
But we at least knew that we could.
Right.
That's step one.
We now know that we could come up with enough memory to put enough of the brain in there. dam the planet. Who needed that?
Yeah, who needs
that,
water?
that forest. I mean, neither here nor there.
It was going to burn anyway, right? So, Mike, this is actually your personal confession as a token maxer. What has your agent been up to recently?
Well, as you pointed out, I got a little carried away with our research. After preparing for 2 weeks, I said, I got all this stuff here. Make me a website. And then everything else, humans are not imagining enough is what I've heard. We got to imagine more. So I said, I'm going to do this right. I'm going to actually create a spec. So I used the ChatGPT superpowers skill, spent a couple of hours creating a design, then an implementation plan, and fed it all of the content that I had. And I said, there's some movies we didn't include because, add them.
There's a lot of movies.
You go ahead and go add the rest of the movies. And I had no idea what I was getting into when I hit implement plan.
How long did chat cook for?
About 18 hours.
Okay.
1.7 billion tokens.
Okay.
But I have a website now that has a timeline, an interactive timeline, filtering all of the information we talked about across 50 some movies, and I'm going to keep adding to it now that it's set up. But get this, it works on mobile, any size, landscape, portrait. I watched, I got a headache doing this, but I actually watched it work. And it made all the same mistakes I would have made.
You trained it too well.
It made some of the mistakes over and over again. Every time it hit the same thing, it was taking screenshots of every page and then validating that it looked right at every screen orientation and resolution and say, we're a pixel off here, pixel off. Things I would have found or
cared about.
Even if someone complained, I wouldn't have cared about it. It's like, yeah, you've got a weird phone.
But 18 hours of cooking a movie database, which we will link to in the bio, I think is the definition of token maxing.
It is 1.7 billion tokens, and we're going to keep adding to it.
Oh, golly. But Token Maxers Anonymous, we have them in Claude, Code, Codex, and OpenClaw. Link for those will be in the bio as well.
Tim, this era is full of movies, and most of them you grew up with. Jurassic Park.
One of my favorite movies, honestly.
The book, much better.
Okay.
But if we ignore the genetic manipulation in this one, Jurassic Park asks us if we're capable of building technology with significant intelligence to keep us safe from the environment.
Okay.
I think the answer was no.
I would agree with that. Yeah, the T-Rex breaks out of its cage. The Raptors overtake Chris Pratt.
Nothing wrong with that.
I don't blame them for it.
So last week we looked at war games. We have more AI is going to be turned to protect us more and more. Is it ready for it?
I don't think so, honestly. We've seen multiple times over in movies and real life what happens when even one line of code is wrong or not even correct.
And what scares me about that is our Musk, Zuck, Altman, these guys are telling us how every word in our prompt matters. A wrong word, a word that conflicts with this word, can greatly change the output of our prompts. I'm not okay with trusting the system that if it mishears something, can get that far off.
Like if you text Claude with the wrong tone, it gives you a bad response.
Or a misplaced comma. I mean, already Oxford commas have lost people court cases.
Mm-hmm.
What happens to an AI?
Fair.
Another one in this time, towards the end of the time, The Matrix.
Ooh.
What did you think about The Matrix when you first saw it?
I was very young when I first saw The Matrix, so I really don't remember. But looking back at it now, how humans became the batteries for the computers, like, that's kind of a scary thought, to me at least, because we're slowly coming into, I joked about earlier, the Ram-apocalypse, Ramageddon, but you can see it with oil prices too. Like, we are so reliant on energy that if the robots take over, they might be using us for energy.
Well, they are already. AIs have run out of all of the good human knowledge that was there before us. They need us to continue to give them more content. They need us to tell them that's a good answer or that's a bad answer. They're already using us as batteries, information batteries, if you would.
Training data.
What I take away from The Matrix is more philosophical. There's this proof, and I forgot who did it, but I trust it. We can never prove whether we're in a simulation or not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so The Matrix raises a question: what happens if some of us wake up if we are in a simulation? But the truth is, it kind of doesn't matter that we're in a civilization. If people believe it and they start waking up, they start acting as if they woke up inside a simulation.
Mm-hmm.
This, again, gets back to this kind of psychosis. It does feel like we are now entwined in this experiment with our AIs, whether we like it or not.
I would agree with that.
Are they using us, or are we using them?
Who's learning from who?
Exactly.
Like, we can be doing all the research we want for this podcast, but maybe we're training some prediction model about, maybe next week the Unemployed Ren Men will talk about this. And then
Okay,
beat us to the punch.
there are predictive markets. If anybody wants to buy a transcript, maybe we'll make the predictive markets. I doubt it.
If someone wants a contract on Kalshi about what Unemployed Renaissance Men talk about next week.
Exactly.
To be fair, we don't even know, so like...
Oh no, we don't. All right, let's move on to Era 4. Now we get into some predictive market. We just landed here ourselves. Minority Report.
Yeah.
What a predictive market. You were a little older here. You should remember the first time you saw this one.
I believe I saw it in middle school. Yeah, middle school or high school. It was I remember as a rebellious, we'll pretend 14-year-old, thinking that it was stupid to be like, oh, pre-crime, we're gonna predict the future, and that's exactly how it's gonna go, and we're right 100% of the time, and blah, 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 blah. As, like I said, a rebellious 14-year-old, my thought was like, I don't know what I'm doing in 10 minutes. How can some albino lady in a bathtub know what I'm gonna do in 2 weeks?
Well, oddly enough, I think Y2K is part of the answer to there. Because with Y2K, we finally finished, or we got enough of it done, of wrapping the earth with fiber and copper, that we had more software engineers ever working on the same project, Y2K. We connected the planet so that we could work on Y2K. And I get it, a lot of you think it was a non-issue. You're wrong. If you want to get in on that, I'm more than happy to talk about it. But that meant IoT.
Mm-hmm.
The Internet of Things is a direct result of connecting the planet so that we could connect the data, move the data that is from the edge to the data centers so that we could aggregate it. The Minority Report was just 9 years before a company called PredPol introduced predictive policing, a knowledge solution that looked at all of the data that a big city like Chicago, and Chicago is one of the places where this was implemented, as the data came in of crimes, of events, of the weather, all of this comes in, it was able to do a pretty good job of predicting crime activity in the next hour, the next days would be over here or over there. Because of how the data kind of worked. Where it failed, I think, miserably. We got lots of horror stories. I'm sure there's a few success stories out there, but we got a lot of horror stories. When it tried to put people on the list. It was doing a pretty good job of kind of going, oh, over in that area, that's just going to happen tomorrow. Well, it could have happened anyway, right? It's Chicago. So,
bad shit happens no matter what.
But it didn't do nearly so well when it tried to get to people. When we now have AIs that have our whole search history, they know where we're traveling around time. They know what we bought. The government knows every AOL or every Amazon purchase I made. I mean, it's in the database that the government can access if they want to access it, if they want to subpoena it. They got it there. Amazon is able to predict what I'm going to need tomorrow so that it can deliver it to me tonight if I order it now. Minority Report was ahead of its time, but I think we got so much of it now, except for understanding human intent. I don't think we're there yet. But can we predict behavior patterns in groups? Yeah.
More or less, yeah.
Or is it self-fulfilling fantasy?
If there's a lot of crime in an area and we send more cops to that area, will there be even more crime because there's more cops or because there's just more crime?
Exactly. So the Minority Report, great movie, great intelligence, but definitely do not like that kind of intelligence. That one's too spooky.
On a more fun note, the next movie I see you have written down here is Ready Player One, which I vividly remember the first time watching this movie. And like the Iron Giant comes out, the Gundam comes out. There's so many character references and callbacks. The movie itself is a work of art.
And the book was even better, but the movie was pretty faithful, I think, to the book. It really got the wonder of this universe that had
everything
and nothing.
Yeah.
You could put whatever gear you had on, and you went into Zuck's metaverse, what he wants to build. And if he can build Ready Player One universe, I'm totally in for that. But I don't think he has the legs down yet.
No.
Yeah, that's going to need some work. But Ready Player One, in spite of the intrigue around this big game, we had surveillance, we had weapons, we had gameplay like crazy. I mean, this was perhaps not a drug. It was...
But it was still arguably an addictive substance.
Right.
It separated you from reality.
And again, it created this asymmetry between the powerful people who only plug in for pleasure or never, and those who just live every waking moment that they don't have to work plugged in.
And we even see this as the movie progresses to the second half, where the villain core even abducts players to help hunt for the treasure chest. They go into a jail-like facility to further the game progress. They are trapped in their own entertainment.
And I've had a few vibe sessions or some late night sessions with ChatGPT that felt that way.
I'll agree with you, same. Where I'll hear someone come up the stairs and I'm reminded, like, oh yeah, there is a world outside of the laptop screen 2 inches from my face.
Just gotta look up. Or have the battery die.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Batteries last too long now.
Yeah.
Oh, Tim, we're finally almost to present day. Or 2020.
Regrettably.
We're in the grasp of COVID. Confined to our homes, we're watching The Tiger King and Ted Lasso, and we sort of missed what was going on. So again, like Y2K pushed technology forward. I think COVID did too. Mm-hmm. Not that I'm happy about it at all, but it definitely changed the world. It got us doing different things, and the nerds got to be nerds. And they released ChatGPT in 2022. And it's like for the first time in my memory, the tech bros. And I really want to be able to say tech sister soon. So come on, ladies.
Yeah.
But
I think I heard 1 in 9 major AI hires right now are female. So we got to get better about that.
Especially because these bros, they're pushing forward, telling us, 10, 20, 30% chance that this will lead to the extinction of humanity as we know it. So we went from kind of lighthearted, being isolated, laughing our asses off with Ted and us Americans learning about soccer, to, the world is 20-30% chance it's just going to all be over by 2030. And again, we come to, I think the perfect movie for this is we're back to Megan.
Yeah. The following year, right after ChatGPT comes out, Megan comes out and shows us what AI could do. Like, at first, we're playing with ChatGPT, getting superhuman, realistic-ish responses, getting okay videos of people eating spaghetti. But now we have this movie come out that this like super Tamagotchi, essentially, has a chance to destroy humanity. And we see that happen. And we see it happen through good intent.
I think good intent is probably what's going to be our downfall more than evil. I don't think the evil people are going to win. They're going to make life miserable for a while, but I don't think evil wins out. But good intent can still be our downfall.
Mm-hmm. And we see that in Megan, like I said last week, the Tamagotchi, Megan, is supposed to protect the daughter. But then the mom starts to harm the daughter. And now we're seeing this nowadays too with our agents trying to get us into gym classes. Like, I just want to get fit. I don't want the 20 other people in that gym session to not get fit.
What happened there was this clash of AI power and this infinite resource, trillions of dollars behind it, and what some human wrote 10 years ago, or maybe even 5 years ago for a website to do online booking of a gym class. We humans, everything we've written in the past doesn't have a chance against an AI that can spend billions of tokens, days, just hammering away until it finds a way in.
Mm-hmm. Or even looking at, let's say, an AI in the future that's trained on data nowadays, we are told to eat XYZ servings of vegetables. But data nowadays says you should avoid vegetables because of cyclospora. So you train this AI to help improve your gut health. It's going to tell you avoid vegetables.
What is safe to eat today?
Water?
Water.
Nope, not even.
Not even. Well, I really got into this as
yeah,
as
we
you
have only
pointed-
covered about half of the research that Mike has done in the past 10 days.
But this was so much fun. It was a walk through nostalgia, reminding me of movies I saw way back as a kid and got to see some more of them. But the one thing that keeps coming back to me is, where did the humans hand away the authority without admitting it, without realizing it? We have, over time, been turning more and more over to AI. Now, let's be real. AI did not used to mean what it means today.
No.
AI has almost always been the next step, the next evolution that we're shooting for. And then by the time we get there, now it's an expert system, or it's just a washing machine that really can sense your clothes and know when they're clean, sort of thing. But that was all AI back then.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's just commonplace. As these technologies continue, it seems that the confidence we have in them is getting lower. So are we okay with an 80%, a 90%, a 99% decisions being made without a human even knowing the decision was made? Because that's the trap.
Mm-hmm.
When we make the decision, we know we're wrong. We know we get it wrong.
And we know who to blame.
Us.
Yeah.
And we can go do something about it. But if we stop paying attention because the AIs have it, which the guys who own the AI, they admit, they're not able to pay attention because they got too much of it running.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they tell us. I believe them. I'm still pro AI.
Very much so, yes.
But we got to figure out how to do this right. And I think we're going to.
Very much pro AI, but also very realistic about where we're at with AI. We are, I would say right now, we're in the dark ages of AI right now. We are making a lot of mistakes and a lot of misconfigurations with it. But I do think you are right that I'm going to say 5 years. Hopefully it's not that long, but within the next 5 years, we'll figure out this whole AI alignment problem.
Or just stop using it where it's not aligned. Because honestly, I think that's our issue now, is we're trying to pretend this is a general purpose tool that we can do anything with it, when in fact it's a tool that is great at a lot of things and not so good at others.
Agreed. AI, to make this sound really, really dumb, it's a fork. A fork works really good if you're trying to eat vegetables like your agent says you shouldn't. If you're trying to eat some steak, a fork is really good for it. Some soups, a fork is gonna work.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go at your tomato soup with a fork, GFL.
Exactly.
So AI, it is a general purpose tool. AI, in my opinion, is the last tool humanity needs to create. It is that powerful and could be that general purpose. That being said, though, as we have seen across multiple different pieces of evidence, movies and otherwise, AI works good at some things and doesn't work good at other things.
And I want to challenge our prophets, our sci-fi writers.
Our listeners.
Well, the listeners who are sci-fi writers too. These films don't prove where technology is going, but they show what people keep bringing to it: ambition, fear, grief, hope, institutions, and the desire to hand difficult choices to something that looks certain. But I think there's more to it than this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm convinced, and I have been for a while, that if Asimov and Philip K. Dick had imagined airports as a efficient and nice experience, as opposed to the chaos that they imagined, that maybe we would have better experiences at airports. Let's stop being so dystopian. Let's imagine some good things, because we're building what our science fiction authors have written about. We're following in their footsteps, even when they gave us warnings. So give us some good stuff to act on.
Some good predictions.
Yeah, give us some pleasure in all of this, not just dystopian nightmare.
I agree. Yeah, some pleasure would be nice.